Welcome to Worthington Home. I'm Chris. I don't know how the weather has been where you live, but it has been so hot here in Connecticut. I can't remember a hotter summer in any time recently. It's been very toasty warm, and for that reason, Eric and I really debated about whether we were going to go to the Brimfield Antique Flea Market in July. July is always a tricky time, and of course, outdoor flea markets are so much fun, but then you're really kind of held hostage to the weather. Fortunately, we live so close to Brimfield, Massachusetts, it's like an hour or so away, that we could really kind of wait until the last minute and see how we feel. We kind of held one day aside out of all the dates available that we thought would be best for us, and we just sort of assumed this wait and see attitude. Well, the day arrived. The weather was iffy in terms of like maybe a little bit of rain, definitely in like the 90-degree temperature range. And we said, you know what? We're just gonna go for it. Let's just check it out. The good news is, if it's too hot, if we're really miserable, we can always just come right back home again. So we went, and here's some footage to show you. It is a beautiful summer day. We parked at our favorite spot by the church, and I'm gonna give you a quick look at the very first group of tents that we're seeing. We were here last time and spent quite a bit of time in this tent the last time we were here. These planters are very unusual with these vibrant roses. I find them interesting, although I don't think I want to have them in my yard myself. They are $150. I think this bicycle planter could be very cool in the right setting. I'm not sure what that would be, not my house, but there could be a really cute place for this. $175, which seems a little high, but imagine how gorgeous those baskets would look filled with overflowing flowers. I wanted to show you these really cool rocks glasses for $125, which is quite a lot, but check out the beautiful shell patterns on these. I don't know if I'm seeing a little L for Libby there. It's hard to tell, but these are very unusual. I'm also really loving this Lily of the Valley vase. It is really spectacular, and it's a Lenox piece that I haven't seen before. There was no price on this, and I didn't feel like asking, so that part is going to stay a mystery. I wanted to show you this gorgeous East Lake dresser with the mirror. It is such a beautiful piece. They're asking $400 for this, but I love all of the carved detail in this. Let's get a closer look. So you can see there's all kinds of flowers and leaves. The pulls are really spectacular. And of course, with all old dressers, you have to pull with both hands to really get the drawers to open up smoothly. And look at that beaded detail on the bottom. It really is so pretty. Hello there. I wanted to give you a close-up of this cute egg basket with the little chicks just hatching out of their eggs. I thought this was adorable. $20 on this piece. And actually the eggs are a lid, and I know that because I almost broke it. It was made in Italy. This is a really beautiful carved lidded bowl. They're asking $65 for this. It wouldn't look right in my house, but this could be a really pretty piece in the right setting. I love that carved elephant. And you can see the wood grain. Yeah, it's a very pretty piece. Eric was very drawn to this $65 ashtray stand. It's a very unique piece. He has several ashtray stands, but the base of this one is really nice. And I also like these little bookends. If you saw my last Brimfield blog, this is the spot where Eric and I were haggling for the garden bench and the planters in the pouring down rain. It really brings me back. And this is the area where we found the garden trellis, which we are absolutely loving. And as you can see, there's some other great things in this area. I like that mailbox in the old style. I don't know if that's an original or a reproduction, and they have lots of trellises here today. I really like this painted window with the skier on it. I think they were asking $125 for this, but it had a really great look to it. I also like this old mirror, although I suspect it's a reproduction. The price is $65, but the seller called out that he'd give it to me for $20. Here we have a stand full of beautiful blankets. Most of them are little Afghans, but some of them have other kinds of treatments. This one's interesting. I don't know if that's like a peacock. And I want to just take a minute and do a wide panning shot so you can get a real sense of the market. Here are tents on one side, and then this is the busy road with tents on the other side. So the market spans both sides of the road. I love this bag with the tassels. $125 is more than I feel like paying for it, especially because I have my pretty Teddy Blake bag that I love. And I like this wicker one as well, but don't feel like paying $115 for it. There's lots of attractive things in this booth, so I'm giving you a wider look at it. I like this toll tray table. I have been thinking about picking one up at some time. I like the legs on this a lot. However, what I don't like is the price, which is $225. I think I can get a better deal. I'm checking out this pretty cabinet with the glass door and the drawer on the bottom. I love cabinets with glass doors. Keeps things safe from destructo cats. It also keeps the dust down in general, which is always helpful. And this might be my favorite thing that I saw today. This is a little cigarette stand, and it closes up into a tulip like you can see, and then you can pop it down and it offers the cigarettes. Not that I'm a smoker, because I'm not. In addition, it is also apparently a music box because it wasn't cool enough just as it was. $250 on this. Here we have a really interesting wooden stand. This would be amazing for planters. $110 on this. I like the carved detail in this piece. You're going to see quite a bit of Eric lurking around in the background in these videos. This is also a beautiful piece. I think this actually turns into a bench, but right now it's set up as a table and it has these fantastic carved details. This is a gorgeous piece. I also really like this trunk, and I especially like that the label of the maker is still on it. This was made in Michigan and is $95. Of course, my eye goes right to these beautiful plates. These are Wedgwood plates, and this is a charnwood pattern. I have teacups and saucers in this pattern on my store. I wanted to show you this old War Bonds poster. It has a really great look to it. This is a beautiful old shaker drying swift. It attaches to a table. $350 for this one. It's a really old guy. This is awesome. This is a collection of old pharmacy bottles. I think the labels are kind of fantastic. It also slightly gives me the creeps. $25, I think it says, for each bottle. This little pink dispensary is very interesting. It looks like it was meant for juice. Eric is telling me it's even better from the other side. There it is. So you can see it has a spigot attached. Has a really great look. And this is $350. Here we have a table full of old hall dinnerware pieces. This isn't the pattern I collect. It's a little bit different, but I think it is fabulous, and it's super fun to see so many pieces all gathered together on this table. We had to get a closer look at this fabulous stove. Apparently it is in working order. It's $200, definitely needs a little restoration, but it has a great look. Check out those knobs. Aren't they fabulous? This is an interesting area. They're mostly selling plants here, which isn't something I've seen before. The plants are very nice, but there's no question that I'm more interested in the antiques. It's also interesting to see the campers that are back here because a lot of these sellers come from far away and they sleep overnight here during the show. This is a really interesting print. I saw a collection of these prints on the Antiques Nomad channel. So it was fun to recognize it and to be able to identify what it was. I didn't see a price on this. This is a great retro look. I love the orange chairs and all of the bunting. This light bright is so funny. I had a very similar one when I was a child. That was hours of fun. And I asked Eric to pull down this little records holder so he can show us how it works. It's $27. There's actually records inside it. And he's gonna just kind of show us how this works. He's gonna turn the little knob and then the lid pops open and the records are inside it. And it's a nice handy carrier. This one smells really weird inside. I don't know what died in there, but I'm glad I'm not anywhere near it. Okay, these dolls are something I've seen in my nightmares. Couldn't you just see this guy and all of his little friends like with some kind of weapons chasing somebody through like a dark, foggy forest? Yeah, you can't unsee it, can you? On a happier note, those Old Maids cards are great and I had the same set when I was a kid. This bike is fabulous. I had a basket just like that when I was a kid, and interesting fact, I was a paper girl for many years. My paper carrier did not look like that. I had a little like caged bin that was on either side of my bike, but this one would have been awesome. And I like that it has the additional wheels for stability. This is like a table full of irises, although I don't know why this one has some kind of metal staple in its chest. Maybe one of those little creepy dolls put it there. Let's not think about that anymore. And here's another iris looking possessed and a painting. Okay, I haven't seen a pie plate in a while, and this one is a quiche plate. I was so tempted to pick this up for my sister-in-law, who is a quiche making master. It's $15. However, I thought she would not love it. Eric and I are both laughing because we remember this little Tupperware condiment carrier from our childhood. This one is $22. I think my grandmother had this and had mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise in hers. This is a great dish set. I really like the pattern. It's very like 1960s/70s. Unsurprisingly, it's made by Mikasa. Very cute. And this is a great little salt and pepper holder. We had one like this as well, but ours did not say Kennedy Space Center on it. Lots of fun things in this particular booth. Check out the parasol. Actually, it's so hot that today a parasol would not be a bad idea. I don't think this one would make it through the market though. And here's another toll tray table for $40, which is a much better price than the last one. Here we have a whole bunch of Stangl pieces. This plate is $12. I think Stangl has to be the world's most cheerful pottery. It always makes me smile when I see it. This tent is full of beautiful vintage fabrics and the prices are not cheap. And I can appreciate they're not super easy to find. And most of the pieces in this tent are in excellent condition. $58 for this one. Everything is also pressed perfectly and displayed really beautifully. So lots of work goes into something like this, which I can appreciate. We're loving that poker piece and lots of interesting colors. This one's kind of pretty, looks like Brimfield. Okay, and this is hands down my very favorite booth of the day, bar none. And actually, we're gonna probably check out this website It's called the History List. There were spectacular things in this booth, including this amazing eagle that we have both fallen in love with. We're not going to talk about the price because it's a yikes. However, for something truly unique and unusual, we might be inclined to pull the trigger on it. We're definitely giving it some deep thought. I think this is the nicest antique hooked rug I have ever seen. It is spectacular. $425 for this one. It is so beautiful. I would hang that on a wall. Gorgeous. And the clock is great with the eagle. And here's some really great matchbook covers and boxes. As I said, this was our favorite booth of the day for sure. This is a fantastic theorem. Erica, if you're watching, this made me think of you. I know you collect these. This one is $420. It's a really old one and beautifully done. We also like these eagle wall hangings. We have a very similar one in our foyer, although right now it's down because we're renovating it. This copper kettle has a great look and a fabulous handle. The hinge is broken on this, but that's not that big a deal. The bigger deal is it's crazy hot. We're headed back to the car, but listen to these beautiful bells. We just bought something very large and now we're going back to get it. Wish us luck. Last time we came to Brimfield, we almost drowned. This time we're melting. It's always something when it comes to the weather, but it's been a good day. While we're driving through the market to pick up our very heavy purchase, I thought I'd give you some information. Brimfield is an old town in Massachusetts, first settled in 1706. The Brimfield Antique Flea Market, which goes by lots of variations on that name, by the way, has been running for over 50 years. It's held 3 times each year in May, July, and September for a 6-day period, always Tuesday through Sunday. Brimfield Market is made up of 19 different show fields filled with dozens of individual sellers. Some fields require a separate entrance fee, although most do not. We've never paid, although I've heard that it can be worth it in some cases. There are 4 miles of vendors at Brimfield. I've never walked the entire show myself, but there are people who proudly do it each year. One recent estimation is that Brimfield attracts more than 130,000 visitors each year. Here are a few things to keep in mind if you're thinking of going to Brimfield for the first time. Weekdays tend to be quieter than weekends. Booths can greatly vary in terms of the quality of their merchandise and their prices. Similarly, some sellers will negotiate and bundle, others stick pretty closely to their asking price. Many items are not priced at all, so you'll have to ask the seller if you're interested in those cases. If you're trying to decide which show to visit, spring, summer, or fall, the crowds are known to be at their smallest in July because it tends to be such a hot and dusty month. There's not much shade to be had other than tent cover, so be warned. Opinions vary, but many regulars consider spring to be the best market time because you're less likely to see repeat items as you might later in the season. We saw quite a few repeat items, meaning things we saw during the spring market today. If you're planning to visit a Brimfield market, be aware that there aren't many hotels. I'm told that most people book an Airbnb or just stay in a nearby town. It's not far from Sturbridge Village, which is a great day trip if you're planning a mini vacation in this area. As with any outdoor market, you'll want to bring lots of cash. I suggest wearing comfortable and rugged shoes as well as a hat to shield the sun, and SPF will be your friend.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, you going?
Now you go first. Will it fit? This is the question. Oh boy. Oh my God, that is so funny.
So, I'm Lee Wright, the history list, rare finds, and our most recent rare find that someone else has found and is finding a place in their home is this eagle, this wooden carved eagle from around 1860, which came from an estate in Long Island. We have a lot of things online at thishlist.com/rare finds, and every Thursday night do a mailing with new rare finds.
Awesome.
Brimfield, and it will be here through Sunday.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thank you for your business.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure. All right, so Precious car goes in the front. I've got to squeeze in here. Let's see if I can do it. Here's the eagle. It looks like it's gonna fly away. Oh boy, I need a margarita.
Actually, hold on.
Okay, now the eagle has a seatbelt. We're gonna just do our best. This is gonna be an interesting ride home. Okay, I'm gonna pick up where we left off before. So when visiting Brimfield, it's wise to bring a bottle of water with you as you walk around. I also suggest bringing a small backpack or bag to hold any purchases you may make. It's important to check the weather before you go and dress accordingly, but be prepared for big fluctuations in temperature during the day, like very cool mornings followed by hot afternoons. There's parking available all throughout the show. It tends to range from $10 to $20 in general. Also, bear in mind that you're only allowed to drive into a field like we just did if you purchase something that needs to be loaded directly into your vehicle. Just so you know, there's lots of porta potties available in all parts of the market, and they're always clean. There are also lots of food trucks and tents at Brimfield, so you don't have to worry about where to eat. That's it in a nutshell. It's definitely a fun experience, and I recommend you check it out, whether you've never been here before or it's just been a long time since you last came. Who knows, maybe I'll see you here in September. As an aside, as you can see, it's a very pretty drive to and from Brimfield. We had a fantastic time at Brimfield, and we were so glad we went. We were also glad that we didn't stay too long. We got there in the morning, and as of course the afternoon descended, it became hotter and hotter, and we were ready to call it a day. But we were also ready to call it a day because we had kind of bought a big item and felt that that meant, we were kind of cut off at that point. You're only gonna buy so much, you're only gonna spend so much at something like this. We had sort of exceeded that mark and decided that it was time to call it a day. Sorry, that was licorice. So let me show you what I bought. Okay, so let's start with smaller items first. I picked up these very pretty brass tone earrings. I will show you a close-up of them in a moment, but I thought these were very attractive. They were only $5, brass tone, and I thought they would look nice with a lot of outfits, especially in the summer. I tend to go for like a bigger oversized earring look more often. So I was glad to find those. And then I found, this great teapot, this great copper teapot. It has a hinged lid, but the hinge is broken. I mean, it still looks really nice. Oops, when it's down, you can't necessarily tell that it's broken. And it's got a nice shape. I really like the handle on this. And, I've recently been picking up a little bit of copper, and I thought this would look so nice just sitting on our stovetop. So this great tea kettle, I don't know if I was calling it a teapot before, but technically this is a tea kettle because this would actually be used to heat the water, not just to serve the water, right? I think that's the difference. Anyway, this tea kettle was not priced, but the person who was manning the booth came up to me and we did a little negotiation. She offered it to me for $10. I would have gone as high as $20, so I was thrilled with that price, and I immediately picked this up. Okay, our next purchase was from a booth that was full of beautiful vintage fabric. It was so fun to look through that space. And surprisingly, Eric fell in love with this. This is a really cool old vintage fabric. Obviously it has the poker theme, and we thought this would look so beautiful in our formal parlor. Just kidding. No, these are gonna become curtains and they're gonna hang in the barn, in the pool room section of the barn. There is a small window there and it's really cute and lets in some pretty light, but it's nice to have something to block that light in the case that Eric wants to watch TV. There's a very large screen, wall-mounted TV in that space, and he likes to watch races and things and James Bond movies and, you know, all the things that are really fun to do in a man cave. He likes to go in there and do those things. So I'm gonna make curtains out of this. And I think they'll be really fun. They're gonna fit in perfectly in that space. And I imagine I might even have some fabric left over to do something else, maybe in the second floor of the barn where the poker table and the bar and all those kinds of things are. So I think this will be really fun. I am not the most skilled seamstress that you will ever meet, but to make some basic curtains is something I can definitely handle. Definitely our best and most special purchase of the day was this fabulous eagle statue. We love this thing. It is so awesome. It's so different. It's so colonial, and we just feel like it has an incredible wow factor. We had never seen anything like it. The wingspan on this thing is so big, and we love all the intricate carving. Like, check out the details in the nails, or I guess the talons, right? It really is amazing. So right now we don't have a really good space for it. We have it on this file cabinet / card catalog. Indy, you're not an eagle, honey. Don't even think about it. And so we're gonna make actually a special stand for it, I think. We don't want it up quite this high because I think it's more dramatic when you can see the eagle a little closer to eye level, but we also don't want it so close that the cats are gonna climb all over it because it is quite old. We don't know exactly how old. We did get the name of the exact estate it came from. So we do know it came from a very impressive home and it is quite old. So we love this. We need a better spot for it. And right down below where Indy was just standing is the last thing we bought, which is this little commode. We ended up paying $20 for this. We had a moment where we thought the eagle might be good on this and we figured it was worth a shot for $20. It's ultimately too low for the eagle. It wasn't meant to be looked at as if you're staring down at the top of the wings because the top of the wings are not carved. It's a piece that you really need to slightly look up at to get the full effect. So for that reason, this is too low, but it's still a great piece. It's in a little bit of rough shape, but we can make that better. And if you open it up, there's where the commode bowl would have sat. So sort of disgusting, but sort of fascinating, right? There's the lid. I think this could make a really cute stand. This might end up in the study. I actually might even just put a record player on it because it would be so fun to be able to listen to records as I work, which I do from home. So that could be an option. I'll have to think about that. And last look at the eagle. So you can see the beautiful detail in the wings when you look up at it. But if you look at the wings on the top side, you can see they're very plain. We've also had a pretty significant repair, which makes sense because, you know, this is a lot of weight to be held up. These wings are quite big. And so I imagine that repair was key to this operation. So for that reason, we don't want to look down at the wings. We want to look up at the wings, if that makes sense. You can see again, that's really flat, not a lot of detail. Here's where all the beautiful detail is. Iris has found a bag. She always loves that, so she's sitting on that bag. I'll get rid of this before I leave because I don't like to leave things like that around. And now she wants to attack the chandelier. And I'm going to show you this just so you know the fun we live with. Here's the chandelier. And she is mesmerized right now because some of the little jeweled pieces are moving. Okay, so here's Iris wanting to eat my earrings, which I certainly don't want her to do. Hey, sweet girl. Wanna say hi? Okay, no, she just wants to eat earrings. So here are the pretty earrings I saw this in a booth that had a number of nice little earrings in it, and none of them were marked, and I was about to walk away because, you know, I didn't feel like asking the price. It was hot and I wasn't into it. And the owner of the booth came kind of rushing up to me and said, "These are only $5. This is where we are right now, just so you know. Iris, honey, that's not food, sweet girl. He said they're only $5, and so for $5, I was happy to buy these. And I really appreciated that he took the initiative to let me know the price. Would have been even better just to have the price, but I was glad that he came up because I would have walked away and he would have lost the sale. Now that in mind, is $5 going to make him a millionaire? Certainly not. Here is a close-up of the tea kettle. You can see it has this nice hinged element to it, but that hinge has broken. I think we can probably have that soldered if we want to. I don't know that I care that much about it. And here is the gorgeous handle. I love the shape of this. Looks especially nice in front of Iris, who is making herself very comfy. And I think this is a beautiful piece. There's no special marking on the bottom, which, you know, I wouldn't expect that there would be. But here is the bottom in case you're just curious about it. And I really like that. I thought $10 was a great price. And here is a better view at the piece of fabric with the fun poker theme on it. This is such a great piece. I think the woman told us this was from the 1960s. And I know you're gonna wanna know the price. I don't remember the price. It was not cheap. I think we paid $60 for this actually. But you can see it's in fantastic condition. Look how nice and vibrant the green color is. The weave is nice and tight. And of course the theme is gonna be so perfect for the barn. And minimally, this will be window treatments for a very small window. But I might be able to stretch it into something more if I'm really very careful. And I'll probably buy some kind of back liner for it as well because these really need to be blackout curtains. Honey, it's not food. Not food. Stop eating the kettle. Well, she's all fired up this morning. Here's a better close-up of the earrings on, in case you wanted to see them. Excuse my hair. I need a hair cutter. I don't know. I need something. I don't know what I need. But here are the pretty earrings. I think they have a great look, especially if I don't have a necklace on and they're just standing alone. So I thought these were fun. And again, for $5, why not? Here is a better look at the copper kettle on the stovetop with Indy behind it where he does not belong. Indy, honey, let's get down. Okay, so there's the kettle. And I still have some copper pots and pans behind it. They're not gonna stay like this. I need to think about the configuration for them. I actually have a spot where they might make more sense. I have this, oh, sorry if I just spun too fast. I have this whole area that surrounds the fireplace, and we just have a few little things on top. I could potentially ask Eric to make a little wall-mounted rack for the copper right here. So it'd be really close to the stove, but it wouldn't be hanging down low like it is now. So I'm still thinking about that. And of course, there is still the option of selling them, but I still am leaning strongly towards keeping them. So we'll see. But anyway, I think the kettle looks really nice here. And that's where it's gonna live for now. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it on one of the back burners because I don't want a wayward cat to come along and knock it over. This is my quick before shot. You can see my antique card catalog is here on the floor, and next to it is this tall file cabinet. So I'm gonna change this out and see if I like it. I just put the commode underneath the card catalog that was on the floor previously, as you saw, and I think it actually looks kind of nice there. And the typewriter my friend Carrie gave me is on top, and it's next to this great old oak file cabinet. So I think that kind of looks cute. It definitely is the right color tone in this room. I had thought about putting a little record player on it or something, but to be honest, my record player is deep in the attic in the closet where I keep all of my eBay bins. And to get into there, I would need like excavation equipment. So for now, I think this looks really cute Very sweet piece. I'm glad that we found it. And I think the card catalog is happier off the floor. What do you think? Like, Chris, do you like it? Yeah, she's wagging her tail. I think it's a go. If you watched my recent vlog about the 2-day tag sale, you may recall that I picked up a pretty little needlepoint purse project that had been unfinished. And I raised a challenge to the viewers and said, if there's anybody out there who's a subscriber who would like to finish the project, please get in touch with me and I would be happy to send it to you. Well, I was contacted by a viewer, Lori, who said she would love to finish the project. So I just got back from the post office. It's on its way to Lori. She has promised to keep us posted on her progress. And when she's all finished, I'm going to share it with all of you. So hi, Lori, if you're watching, and good luck. I hope you enjoy making the little purse. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. It was another great day at Brimfield, and as I said before, if you ever have a chance to check it out, I definitely recommend that you do. There's going to be another show in the early fall, so we might end up heading over to that one as well. I don't know. We'll see what the weather brings and what our schedule looks like. We always end up parking at the same place. We like to park at this white church. It's so beautiful. And it's a little more expensive than the parking in some other areas, but we really like the idea that the money goes to support the church. People who go to Brimfield on a regular basis tend to have their favorite parking spots. And like I said, that's ours. However, because we always park there, we always end up kind of seeing the same parts of the Brimfield market. And it was surprising how many things we saw this time that were there when we went to the show in the spring. So I think to mix it up next time, we might consider the idea of parking further in, just so we can check out some different booths and tents, and I can then show you some things that you haven't seen already in my vlog. So we'll see what happens, and I'll definitely keep you posted. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.